He never expected that a single moment, a single decision, could shift the entire weight of his life. Yet as Adam held the worn leather wallet in his hand, standing beneath the fading evening light, a strange ache pulled at his chest. Maybe it was exhaustion. Maybe it was hunger. Or maybe it was the tiny spark of hope he hadn't felt in years, something so fragile that he was almost scared to breathe. He didn't know that the owner of this wallet was about to walk into his world like fate, dressed in silk. Adam had been returning from his second part-time job. Sleeves rolled up, shirt stained from a long day of repairs in the mechanic shop. His shoes were worn thin, and his jeans had faded patches that carried stories of struggle. His life wasn't glamorous, far from it, but it was honest. Every single coin he earned was for his 5-year-old daughter, Lily. The reason he kept going, even when everything else seemed to crumble, he found the wallet near the street curb, half hidden under the tire of a parked car. At first, he thought it belonged to one of the wealthy people who often wandered in this upscale district, people whose worlds were polished and distant from his own. When he opened it to search for an ID, the corner of a family photo peeked out. A woman smiling elegantly, her eyes bright with confidence. Money filled every section inside, crisp bills that could have paid his rent, bought Lily new clothes, or given them a warm meal for a week. His stomach twisted painfully at the thought, but he closed the wallet immediately. He didn't steal. That wasn't who he was, no matter how hungry, no matter how desperate. He waited at the corner of the street where he found it, hoping the owner retraced their steps. People passed by, expensive perfumes mixing with the city air, heels tapping, conversations bubbling from nearby restaurants. Adam felt invisible among them, a shadow in a world that never saw him. But he stayed. He couldn't imagine losing something valuable like this. Lily's fear, if she ever lost her backpack, was enough to stop him from even considering walking away with someone else's belongings. Then she appeared, a woman in a soft rose-colored dress stepped out of a black luxury car. Her long dark hair flowed in gentle waves, and her eyes sharp, searching, full of concern, swept across the street. She looked nothing like the world Adam belonged to. She was elegance and grace, carved from silk and moonlight. And yet, as she approached, something about her expression was deeply human, worried, hurried, vulnerable. "Excuse me," she breathed, stepping closer. "Did you happen to see a wallet around here?" Adam swallowed, noticing her faintly trembling hands. She wasn't just wealthy, she looked afraid. "I found this," he said, offering it. Relief washed over her like a warm tide. "Oh my God, yes. That's mine." Her shoulders relaxed as she took it, but then her eyes lifted to him, really looked at him, for the first time. Her expression shifted, softening, as if she noticed the dirt on his hands, the fatigue beneath his eyes, the frayed stitching on his shirt. Something flickered inside her gaze, something between gratitude and sadness. "Thank you," she said, almost whispering. "You don't know how important this is." "You're welcome," he replied simply. "I'm glad it wasn't lost." She hesitated. I want to give you something for returning it. Please let me pay you." He immediately shook his head. "No, I didn't do it for money." Her brows lifted in surprise. "Most people would." "I'm not most people," he said softly, and she felt those words more than she expected. Silence stretched between them, warm and strange. Cars passed by, lights flickered, laughter echoed from a nearby cafe, yet the world around them faded softly. It was just him and her two strangers from opposite universes standing inches apart. She extended her hand. "My name's Elena." He hesitated before taking it. "Adam." Her eyes lowered, noticing the calluses on his fingers, the scars on his knuckles, marks of a man who worked endlessly, who struggled silently. She wondered who he was, where he came from, and why someone with so little still carried such quiet dignity. "Adam," she said gently, as if tasting the name. "Let me at least get you something to eat. You look tired and hungry." He almost refused again, but his stomach betrayed him with a loud growl that made her smile. For the first time in a long time, he felt almost seen, not judged, not pitied, just seen. "Well, maybe something small," he said. She nodded, eyes lighting up with something warm. "Come with me." He followed her to the cafe where the lights reflected on the windows like golden stars. As they sat down, she listened to him talk about Lily, about his jobs, about the small battles he fought every day. And she shared pieces of her own world, how she managed her late father's business, how she grew up surrounded by expectations, how she had everything money could buy except peace. The contrast between them was sharp. Yet the connection between them grew naturally, gently. Like a quiet flame that didn't ask permission to burn. As the night deepened, Elena found herself staring at him longer, her heart tightening in ways she wasn't ready to understand. Adam, on the other hand, tried not to look at her too much. She was beauty wrapped in wealth, a dream he didn't deserve to touch. But the more they talked, the more he forgot the differences between them. When they walked outside again, a soft breeze brushed past. She stopped beside her car and turned to him. "You didn't just return a wallet tonight," she said quietly. "You returned a little faith in people." He smiled shyly. "I'm just glad it helped." "You did more than help." Before he could reply, she placed her hand over his warm, gentle, lingering just long enough to send a spark through him. Something shifted, something neither of them expected, and it was only the beginning. For the next few days, Adam tried to convince himself that the evening with Elena was nothing but a strange, beautiful accident, something that didn't belong in his world. But fate had other plans. On the third morning, as he walked Lily to her school, a familiar car rolled to a gentle stop beside him. The window lowered, and Elena's warm eyes met his, her smile soft and genuine. "I hope I'm not interrupting anything," she said. Lily peeked up curiously. "Daddy, who is she?" Adam scratched the back of his neck awkwardly. Friend." The word tasted unfamiliar, almost unreal, but Elena's smile grew brighter at hearing it. "I was hoping to talk to you," she said. He walked closer to the window. "Is everything okay?" She hesitated, then stepped out of the car, crouching to Lily's level with kindness woven into every movement. "Hi, sweetheart. I'm Elena. What's your name?" "Lily," she answered shyly. "Well, Lily, can I borrow your dad for a few minutes after school?" "I promise I'll return him," Elena joked softly. Lily giggled for the first time that morning, and the sound melted something inside Adam. He hadn't heard that bright laugh since last week. When he told her a silly bedtime story, after dropping Lily off, he turned to Elena. "Is something wrong?" "You didn't seem upset." "No," she said, "not wrong. Just important. Come with me." They drove to a quiet riverside park, sunlight glimmering on the water. Children played in the distance, families laughed, dogs ran freely. But Adam and Elena stood under the shade of a tall tree, like the world had paused just for them. She turned to him with a sincerity that made his stomach tighten. "Adam, I've been thinking since that night. About you. About your daughter. About how strong you are." "I'm not that strong," he murmured. Double quotes. "Yes, you are." She stepped closer, her voice low. "You could have taken the money in that wallet. But you didn't. You could have walked away from your struggles. But you didn't. You're raising a child alone, working 2 jobs, and still choosing honesty and kindness." Her eyes softened. "People like you are rare." He didn't know what to say. Compliments weren't something he was used to, especially not from someone like her. "Elena," he began carefully, "we come from completely different worlds. You're you. And you're Adam," she interrupted gently. "That's more than enough." Something in him trembled, a mixture of fear and longing. He couldn't remember the last time someone said he was enough. She exhaled slowly. "I want to help you. Not because I pity you, but because I admire you. And because I can't stop thinking about you." His heart skipped, then stuttered, then raced uncontrollably. "Elena, just let me finish," she whispered, eyes glistening with emotion. "I know you're proud. I know accepting help is hard. But I want to make your life a little easier. For Lily, for you. And not because I'm rich, but because you deserve better than the pain you carry alone." Adam's breath faltered. Shame, hope, fear, and warmth all clashed inside him. He felt her sincerity like a softness he didn't know how to hold. He spoke slowly, voice rough. "I don't want to be another responsibility in your life." "You wouldn't be," she said. "You'd be someone I care about." Her voice cracked slightly, and he looked up just in time to see her blink back, the emotion threatening to spill. It was too much. He stepped back instinctively, overwhelmed. "Elena, I don't want to drag you down. My life is messy, complicated. You deserve someone who can match your world." Her eyes softened, but she didn't look away. She stepped closer, closing the distance between them. "Maybe I'm tired of people from my world. Maybe I want honesty. Maybe I want someone who doesn't pretend. Maybe I want you." His breath caught. No one had ever said something like that to him. Not since before Lily was born. Not since his world fell apart. "Elena." His voice fell into a whisper. "Why me?" She reached out, her fingers brushing his hand tenderly. "Because when you returned that wallet, you returned something I'd lost a long time ago, trust." Silence lingered, thick with emotion. His chest tightened as warmth blossomed, and cracked open the walls he built around himself. He didn't pull his hand away this time. He let her hold it. For the first time in years, he let someone in. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into something deeper, something neither of them expected. Elena visited, often, sometimes with groceries, sometimes with books for Lily, sometimes just to sit on the porch with Adam and talk. And every time, Adam felt the weight on his shoulders lighten just a little. Slowly, quietly, they fell into something that looked like hope. One evening, after Lily had fallen asleep, Adam and Elena stood outside his small apartment. The streetlights glowed softly, casting warm halos around them. She looked at him, then stepped closer, her voice barely above a whisper. "Adam, is it wrong that I want to be part of your life?" His heart pounded. "It's not wrong," he said, voice trembling, "but it scares me." She lifted her hand, touched his cheek gently, the first real touch between them that lingered with meaning. "I'm scared too." He leaned into her touch without realizing it. Their breath mingled. Their hearts found rhythm. "Elena," he whispered, "I don't know where this goes. I don't know if I can give you the life you're used to." "I don't want that life," she murmured. "I want this one. I want you." And just like that, the walls inside him broke. His hands moved to her waist gently, as if afraid she might fade if he held her too tightly. She leaned closer, her forehead resting against his dot in that fragile moment. He realized something life-changing. Someone finally saw him as more than his struggles. She saw him, she chose him, and he let himself choose her back. Their lips met softly, trembling, hesitant at first, then deeper, filled with gratitude, longing, and the quiet promise of a future neither of them imagined. When they finally pulled apart, she smiled through teary eyes. "This feels like fate." He smiled for the first time in a long time, a real smile, full of life. "Maybe it is." And as she wrapped her arms around him, under the soft glow of streetlights and the gentle whisper of the night breeze, Adam realized something he never dared to hope for. Returning that lost wallet didn't just change his fate, it gave him back a life worth dreaming about. And it gave him love, the kind that heals everything it touches.